Hi, Tracey here again in my plant-based kitchen. Hope things are going well. I've got another lovely plant-based recipe for you today with an infusion of a VITUS superfood. And today we're working with Spirulina, which is one of my absolute faves because I've been using Spirulina myself personally for 25 plus years, and I just find it, I guess, one of my absolute staples in terms of whole food, for energy, for nutrition. It was amazing during both my pregnancies. So in both my pregnancies, I actually became iron deficient, and I took my Spirulina for 3 to 4 weeks, and my iron completely turned around and was completely sorted in both cases, in both pregnancies. So I was utterly stoked with that. So it's a wonderful option for a plant-based, high-protein, whole food that's really, really rich in iron, as well as 100 other minerals and vitamins. Absolute magic superfood product. Can't rave enough, really. So today I'm doing a pesto, and I really, really love pestos. And the thing is, I do pretty much have to make my own because I choose to live a plant-based lifestyle, and that includes being dairy-free. This recipe is completely vegan as it happens, which is great. And of course, pestos are often laden with Parmesan cheese, which is, you know, it is really delicious. However, it's just a little bit clogging and not so good for my system, that's for certain. So the great news is that pestos are amazing without Parmesan cheese. Now today I'm going to give you an option of putting nutritional yeast flakes in your pesto. However, I need to stress that without these, this recipe is still absolutely awesome. So with pestos, you may know that often it involves a nut, and that can be a pine nut or a cashew, generally speaking, sometimes a walnut. And then we mix in a green with it, and often it is basil, but it can be spinach, it can be parsley, it can be kale. There's awesome things you can do with pesto these days. So today we're doing a cashew-based pesto, and it is a basil pesto, but we are giving it a really good dose of spinach, so really giving it that extra green goodness. And then it's got the regular things that you expect in a pesto, so it's got the lemon juice, the garlic, and the beautiful extra virgin olive oil to drizzle in through at the end to give it that absolutely lovely, lovely consistency that we know and love that a pesto is. And that's essentially it, a bit of salt and pepper, and we're done, and with our magic ingredient of VITUS Spirulina. So with the Spirulina today, I'm going to put in half a teaspoon into 1 bowl of pesto. However, I would like to say that try that first, and then edge your family up to a little bit more and a little bit more. Go from half a teaspoon to then a level flat teaspoon, and then if you're really daring, you can get into a heaped teaspoon, should your taste buds feel comfy with that. So it's really all about just feeling it out for yourself and seeing how much you like that flavour coming through. With the half a teaspoon, the flavour will be pretty much disguised by all the other gorgeous ingredients. So we'll start there. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So I've soaked the cashews. I soaked them overnight, and the reason for that, you don't have to do that, so you can just use cashews, but I love to soak them because it really enhances the creaminess of the pesto. So we're putting in a good generous half a cup of cashews into this recipe. So I'm going to load everything into my food processor, and that is how simple this is. I've pre-prepared it. I've squeezed the lemon, I've just chunked the garlic up, I've soaked the cashews, I've put the greens into measuring cups, so it's all nice and easy for us to see how it flows together today. So it's quite nice just to pre-prepare everything and then literally throw it into your food processor. So I'm going to put in half a cup of cashews. Then I'm going in with, and you can squeeze between 1 and 2 lemons, like a large lemon, or between 1 and 2 medium-sized lemons. I've got that here pre-done. So going on with the lemon. And then between 1 and 2 garlic cloves. So a lot of this is to the taste. If you like it more garlicky, get in there with more garlic. Not so keen on the garlic, just go mild. And then we've got a full cup, these are like an equivalent to a measuring cup, a full cup of spinach. I've used baby spinach leaves today. Spinach out of the garden is absolutely brilliant. And then again, a full packed cup of fresh basil from the garden, or buy the basil from your greengrocer. Either way, it's all good. I've been growing a garden, so I'm quite stoked with myself this year, but it hasn't always been that way for me. So then we're going to go in, I'm actually adding something today, which is parsley from the garden, because I've just got lashings of this stuff. So I'm going, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I throw in a bit more green? So I'm literally just ripping it off, putting it in, what the heck, you know? So if you've got something like that growing in your garden, throw it in. Some parsley ideally, some extra basil, some kale. You can put any greens in this pesto, honestly guys, it's gorgeous. So apart from that, we're going to put in a little bit of pepper and salt. I quite like salt myself, always use a nice quality salt that's full of minerals, and some black pepper. And then the last two magic ingredients before we put the olive oil in are going to be a little bit of nutritional yeast. As I say, this will be stunning on its own without the nutritional yeast, but if you're like me and you love a bit of cheesiness, which I do, let's put the nutritional yeast in. So just a quality nutritional yeast that you've found. I find this brand really great, the Lotus brand, I really love it. It's got a nice mild taste. So we're going to go 2 heaped teaspoons of nutritional yeast. Could put more if you'd like it more cheesy. You can see this is a really flexible recipe, which I love. I love to work this way. So with the spirulina, yes, so familiar with that smell, that clean spirulina smell. I really like it. It just screams health to me. So we're going to go half a teaspoon in this particular recipe. That's a generous half, but that's all good for me. Start with half to see how you feel about the flavour. And then into your food processor with that. And then once you've blended that up for a bit, while the food processor is still going, you're going to drizzle your olive oil into the pesto. That's quite important at the end for the consistency and the texture. So we'll just get this going, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, that's starting to look quite good. So now I'm opening it up and I'm going to drizzle my olive oil in while it's running. It's 1/4 cup of olive oil. There we go. Happy days. So here we have it, our spirulina infused pesto. And as you can see, it's made a bit over a cupful, so a decent amount. Certainly lovely for guests before dinner. I'd be very proud to serve that before dinner as nibbles or in an afternoon. And another thing that I love doing with this pesto is making pesto pasta for the kids for a family dinner. So just a nice gluten-free pasta and a big salad on the side, and the pasta can be drizzled with this pesto as much as you like. And here's a lovely way to serve it. I've just drizzled some lemon zest and chopped parsley on that plate, and we've got some lovely crackers and veggies. Enjoy.